Every night after the school bell rang and the classrooms emptied, a soft humming echoed through the silent hallways of Oakridge High. Most thought it was just the janitor, an older man with silver-threaded hair and a quiet smile, doing his usual routine. But no one really paid him much attention. Except Mia. Mia was a quiet student. Smart, introverted, and constantly weighed down by the kind of sadness no teenager should carry. Her father had passed away 2 years ago, and her mother, working double shifts, barely made ends meet. They lived in a small one-room apartment on the rougher side of town. Mia never complained, she just carried her world on her small shoulders, going through the motions with quiet determination. But her grades had begun to slip. The stress, the isolation, and the long nights spent caring for her little brother while trying to study were taking a toll. She'd stay late in the school library just to have a quiet space to focus, often missing dinner. But even that wasn't enough. She was on the verge of losing her scholarship. One evening, she stayed late again, too late. The library had closed, and she was sitting under a flickering hallway light with her textbook spread across her lap. Tears rolled silently down her cheeks. That's when she heard the cart wheels squeak, followed by the gentle sound of humming. Startled, Mia looked up to see Mr. Ben, the school janitor. He wasn't particularly tall or imposing, but there was a kindness in his eyes that made her feel safe. "You okay there, kid?" he asked softly, his voice like worn leather and warm tea. Mia wiped her face quickly. "I'm fine. Just studying." He looked at her books, then at her. "Looks like you've been at it a while." She nodded. Without another word, Mr. Ben reached into his cart and pulled out a small, wrapped sandwich. "You look like you haven't eaten." "Here, my wife packed too many today." Mia hesitated, but hunger won. She took it with a whispered, "Thank you." That became the beginning. Every night after that, Mia would stay late, and so would Mr. Ben. He'd clean the halls, whistling softly, while occasionally stopping to check in on her. One night he noticed her struggling with algebra and offered to help. She was skeptical, what could a janitor know about algebra? But he surprised her. He explained equations with such clarity that even her confused mind began to understand. "Used to be a math teacher," he said quietly when she asked. "Long time ago." From then on, every night became a quiet ritual. He'd clean, then sit beside her, gently guiding her through her studies. He never pried into her life, never asked for anything in return. Just taught, encouraged, and listened. And Mia's grades began to improve. Months passed. The teachers started noticing the difference. One day, her math teacher, Ms. Carter, pulled her aside and asked how she had turned things around. Mia hesitated, unsure if she should mention Mr. Ben. He never asked to be recognized. But something inside her told her it was time. She told Ms. Carter everything. The next day, the principal called Mr. Ben into his office. He entered humbly, thinking perhaps he'd done something wrong. But instead, he found the entire staff waiting. They stood and clapped. "Mia told us everything," the principal said. "You've been more than a janitor. You've been a silent guardian." Mr. Ben looked down, emotion swelling in his eyes. "I didn't do it for applause. I just saw a kid who needed someone." But the story didn't end there. The school board looked into his past and discovered the truth. Mr. Ben, real name Benjamin Hart, had once been an award-winning teacher at a prestigious private school. Years ago, he had lost his daughter in a tragic accident. Devastated, he stepped away from teaching and wandered for years, unable to return to the classroom. Cleaning schools was a way to stay close to what he once loved. Mia had unknowingly given him purpose again. Word spread. A local newspaper picked up the story, and soon the whole town was talking about Mr. Ben and the student he helped. The school offered him a job, not as a janitor, but as a mentor and tutor. He declined at first, overwhelmed by the attention. But Mia spoke to him one evening. "You helped me believe in myself again," she said. "Now it's time for you to believe in you." He accepted. Mr. Ben went on to become the heart of the school's new after-school mentorship program. Dozens of struggling students found a second chance under his guidance. And Mia? She won a scholarship to her dream university and graduated top of her class. On the day she left for college, she found a note in her backpack. "Dear Mia. Thank you for reminding me that even broken hearts can heal. With pride. Mr. Ben." Years later, Mia returned, not as a student, but as a teacher. And on her first day, she walked the same halls, now filled with laughter and light, and found Mr. Ben still humming, now surrounded by students eager to learn. Because sometimes, the quietest people make the loudest difference. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Pure Kindness Stories, because kindness deserves to be seen and shared.